Welcome to Direct to Video, DVD Extras, a podcast between podcasts where we talk about whatever we want. Now, where's the button on this thing?
So I still haven't watched anything. I don't know about you.
I did, but we can totally do a DVD Extras.
We're gonna have to. I have tests last week. I have tests next week. I have to drive home tomorrow and back tomorrow.
Oh. That's fine. We're out of DVD Extras anyway. I was going to talk to you about it. But I'll say this before we start going on. I want to talk about Beauty and the Beast in a second, but first, man, Muppet Treasure Island is still so fucking good.
I've never watched anything Muppets related, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. No, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it because I'm definitely going to mention it in the Muppet in Treasure Island one.
Yeah.
But there's a thing I sort of wanted to mention because I figured we'd do a DVD Extras about Beauty and the Beast.
What you're telling me? Sorry, give me a sec. I need to open up a document here.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Because I have a document here labeled "Beauty and the Beast Thoughts."
Great.
Because I think we're going to talk about this for a whole nother maybe hour and a half.
Right. But what I wanted to mention, even before we get into that, is you read that article, right, about Ashman?
So I didn't read that article, but I knew. And I wanted to talk about it in the last episode, but I decided not to bring it up just because it's
like some heavy stuff, and I did not, like, I've known his name for forever, but I didn't know...
Yeah.
all that extra stuff about it, and I kind of want to rescind my judgment for Beauty and the Beast not being a very good allegory for physical deformity, because what it was an allegory for AIDS, and it was very good at that.
Yeah.
It was very good at being an allegory for AIDS. Yeah, it's got the miracle cure, it's got everybody hating the Beast for no reason. And when he shows up, you see him as a monster, and then as you get to know him, you realize he's just a regular person who made one mistake and is now paying for it the rest of his life.
Yeah, it's...
And I fucking love that, and it made me very sad. Oh, because... Here, wait, let me say this for the listeners.
Yeah.
Because Ashman died of AIDS, and also wrote the lyrics for the Beauty and the Beast songs while he was dying of AIDS.
Yeah, he actually... Howard Ashman passed away, I think, before the official release of the film. There's a lot to talk about, and if I would recommend that anybody who wants to know more about him, like, just read up on him or watch Waking Sleeping Beauty. So, Waking Sleeping Beauty is a 2009 documentary that came... Yeah, it's a 2009 documentary, and they dedicate a good amount of it to Howard Ashman. And it's a fantastic documentary as well.
So yeah, that was my big Beauty and the Beast thought that I was not able to get out earlier. Here's the thing: I am closed up in my room. It's very warm in here. Here, actually, I'm just gonna crack the window. That's going to be. I hope that doesn't make too much white noise.
Hey, remember, this is a DVD extra. This is your problem now.
Well, the thing is, with the DVD extras, I feel like nobody really expects it to be well edited, so I can get away with a little bit. Did you guys hear the reaction that he had to that? He's like, Andy hates that he's the touchstone for quality here.
I really do dislike it.
Yeah. Genuinely, though, you are better at it than I am. Which is funny because Balto 2 is still our most popular episode. That's funny for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get, like, all of my thoughts together.
Please.
Because I've been making a lot of bad decisions in the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
The biggest one is that a couple of weeks ago now? No, last week. Persona 5 came out.
And that was a bad decision for you?
Oh, it's a terrible decision. That video game is playing havoc with my sleep schedule right now. And this is a video game that I've been waiting for years.
Yeah, I'm not a video game guy. Like I don't have my finger in the video game pool.
Yeah.
But Persona 5 is just a name that I've heard about a million times. And that's not just recently either. So I figured it must be a big anticipated one. If I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's good. I am completely enraptured by this game's entire presentation. Its music, its art choice, it's got it all for me. And I was thinking about this a lot because have you ever how do I want to phrase this? Experienced something and thought to yourself, "Oh shit, every little inch of this thing appeals to me. Nothing about it does not appeal to me."
Here's the thing, dude. We're already going to talk about the Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, all right, because for me, I can only think of like a handful of times where I watched or played something, and like as I was playing it, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be like on my list of things to think about forever." Because and like as much as I loved.
People have been talking about the new Zelda game like that.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't played it. I'm not a big video game guy.
Yeah, and
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Because like, I'm trying to think about the last time in recent memory that I've had this feeling, and it was a couple of years ago when I watched Star Wars Episode 7, like that. That was the last time before this time that it happened.
That's funny, because I had problems with Star Wars Episode 7. Most of the problem I had was that they literally made a bigger Death Star and then tried to make that okay by pointing it out in the movie. And I was like, guys, you could have done something else.
But Han Solo pointed it out, which made it like 90%.
And it was a funny moment, but then they still had to go to the Death Star and like do the Death Star thing.
Ooh, yeah. I liked the name of the new Death Star, though. Starkiller Base is a kick-ass name.
Okay, but here's the thing. You haven't played The Force Awakens. Not The Force Awakens. The Force Unleashed.
No, I have not. No.
Okay, because there's actually an interesting story about this. The character's name in that is... They call him Vader's apprentice, and they call the fact that he exists Project Starkiller or something. And the reason they call him that... The reason they call him that is because they wanted a Darth name. You know, Darth this or that. Yeah. And apparently George Lucas walked in one day and said, "Hey, how about Darth, worst name ever?" And everybody on the game kind of froze. And he walked away and was like, "Yeah, that's what you should name him." And then they just didn't name him anything. Because they figured they couldn't give him another name because Lucas would know about it.
Yeah.
So they quietly didn't name him anything. And so that's what that makes me think of. Only because it's also a Star Wars story, and apparently Starkiller's already a thing in Star Wars.
The funny thing about that little anecdote is that apparently that happens a lot in Star Wars Extended Universe stuff. Mm-hmm. That, like, George Lucas would just walk in and pitch the worst idea ever, and they would just have to be like... Ruin it? Yeah, and they would just have to be like, You
saw... This stuff like this was passed around when Carrie Fisher died. You saw, the scripts where the actors crossed out the shit they weren't gonna say.
Yeah.
Right? And most of these actors were green actors. Mm-hmm. Harrison Ford was kind of already a big deal, and everybody else wasn't. But these people were like, "No, I'm going to say the thing that makes sense. I'm going to say something not stupid here." And that's why that's a good movie.
Carrie Fisher made her whole career, apparently, doing that to scripts, which I never knew about. And that's a super interesting job to me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've walked out of a movie and thought to myself, those lines are just not
those lines
gonna fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely been there. That's usually what makes me hate a movie. Because I am not the kind of person, like, I can't watch a Michael Bay movie or something. I'm not the kind of person who's okay with just explosions or gunfire or something, and that makes a movie good. I need a halfway decent story.
I mean, past the halfway decent story, you got to make that dialogue work. And a good example of this is I don't know if you watch Doctor Who ever.
I've watched like 2 episodes. I watched one of the Neil Gaiman episodes, and then one that was just on one day.
So Doctor Who has a massive dialogue problem.
Okay.
Because and I don't know about like old Who because I've never watched any of it, but new Who.
I have watched one of the ones that Douglas Adams wrote, and his stuff has always been kind of goofy, but
yeah,
it was pretty goofy.
But the thing is that New Who has a massive dialogue problem where a lot of the times it feels like, especially with certain sentences that they have to say, like, I'm sorry, that sentence makes no rational sense, even with, and you can only hand wave away so much bad dialogue with, oh, he's from space and talking about tech stuff.
Right, sure. After a certain point, you have to...
Yeah, after a certain point, it just gets exhausting. The thing about it, when you watch the original Star Wars, if you just look at individual lines, they're great because a child could say them, and you're like, yeah, I get you.
Okay.
But they're also amazing because there's a lot of subtext and emotion that you can pour into sentences that are written with simple words. Mm-hmm. And I think, like if you want to have a genuinely good script, you want to balance having simplified, like, casual language and kind of aloof, what I would call, like, book prose. Because if you go all the way in one direction, you end up with a movie that just sounds pretentious, and if you go too far in the other direction, you sound like you're making a movie about, well, not a movie about, but you sound like you're pandering to your audience.
Yeah. It reminds me of, when you say that, it reminds me of, somebody wrote, God, it was like an advice for writers thing. And it said, This paragraph is poetry. Because what you do is you open with a short sentence that draws you in, and then do another short sentence, and then do a really long run-on sentence.
Yeah.
That, like, actually goes for, like, 2 lines, and then close it with another short sentence, and people react to that without realizing it.
Yeah.
If you have the simple stuff, and then the complicated stuff.
Because I read that, too, and...
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that the more I think about it, the more I realize, like, I feel like George Lucas really didn't understand what it is that he did right in the first 3 movies. Because there's a huge dialogue problem in the prequel trilogy to Star Wars, where let me come on.
No,
before
I don't
you...
think so. I don't think, no. I think the dialogue's the best part of those movies.
Oh, man.
You remember when Anakin talked about how much he hated sand? That was great.
That was fantastic. And it was romantic. I fell in love with the guy. Didn't everyone? So anyway, I've been playing like a million hours of Persona. Every, like, waking minute that I don't have work or anything to do has just been Persona time. And it's great. And the reason I want to talk about it is because Persona 5 does this very interesting thing, and I feel like the choice was very intentional because of the topic that the game is trying to tackle.
Okay. Which
is the topic of abuse towards a younger generation. So like generational abuse. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of talk in the game both about adults abusing kids, but also about how the older generation, through its actions, has abused this younger generation in a way that maybe shouldn't be forgiven. And it's doing all of this kind of without directly saying any of the words that I just said.
Right. I've been reading a lot of Calvin and Hobbes. He goes into that a bit. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things that comes up every time you're kind of in between generational change. Mm-hmm. I feel like you always have those articles that people point out, like, hey, in the in the 1870s, like, people who rode bikes were considered rebellious and awful and heathens to society, and like now bikes are just like whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
And like you get stuff like that, and I feel like whenever you have
destroying the soap industry.
Yeah, exactly. Millennials are destroying the napkin industry, the golf industry.
Fuck you and your golf. I don't have any money. Christ. Destroying the napkin industry.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
I remember seeing that one. One of my favorite writers, Ryan North, he said, he said he looked up Millennials, and apparently there's a broader age range than he thought, and he flipped a table and said, "Those think pieces were about me?"
Yeah, Millennials is a big demographic that like me and you are a part of that demographic, but my little brother isn't.
I mean, he could be, depending on how it is reshaped in the future.
That's true, but I think as of right now, he's not.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening to direct-to-video
VHS
DVD extras. I have been Tony Robusto.
And I have been your host, Andres. I'm struggling. Do I want to go with the full beast lips? Is that what I want to focus on here?
Those were good lips.
Yeah. Reyes.
I don't know why that got me. That got me hard.
You can find me at royalty_valens on Twitter.
Yes, and you can find me at TheaterBets with an ER.
Remember to check us out on iTunes or Google or our website, wherever you find our podcasts. And if you can, give us that sweet 5-star review. It really helps get us on the leaderboards.
Yeah, and let's do a real sit-down chat about this, because we have a decent amount of listeners, and I am very happy for all of you are here joining us. Somebody leave a goddamn review. We have 4 listeners in China.
What?
Can one of you Chinese people open up iTunes? I literally do not know. But if you can, it would be so nice for you to leave a review, and I would just love our only review to be in Chinese.
That would be hilarious, actually. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be delightful? I would love that. Guys, this is really how more people find out about us. And then, if more people find out about us, we can spend more time talking about stupid movies.
Yeah, because that'll give us a bigger incentive to... Well, it'll give me a bigger incentive anyway to sleep less and work on editing these things more.
Exactly. Listen to him. Listen to how much he wants to work for you.
I need it. I got to enslave myself to capitalism.
It's really the only way we get by.
I mean, that's not true. I work like 2 jobs.
I meant as slaves to capitalism.
Oh, as slaves to yes.
Just in general, as slaves to capitalism, not because of the podcast. As slaves to capitalism, we don't make money on this.
I would love if we, made something off of this.
That'd be awesome.
Smile.
Even if we only got
smiles on faces.
Smile. Aw. That'd be great. You know what? I immediately took it to monetary, and you took it to smiles on faces, and I love that.
We could just end on like a good memory. Like let's just sit here and just think for a little bit about how much we want to kiss those CGI lips.
They were good fucking lips. But here's the other thing I wanted to mention: Lee Rosevere.
Yes.
We used his music, "Penguins on Parade," for our podcast, and it's really good music, and he does a lot of other really good music. I was just poking around his library, and I found something called "Going Out for Coffee" or something, and it's like a light but almost noir feeling music, and it's just a good tune. You, as a listener, should go check that out, because you know what? Why the fuck not? Life's too short.
Did we cover all our bases?
I think we covered all the bases. So. Oh, actually, you know what? I also, if you go to direct2.video, which is our website, I put up a couple more YouTube videos. I don't really know how to share stuff on YouTube anymore. I used to use YouTube all the time when I was in high school, and now I don't.
It's changed
The only one that's gotten that's gotten like an amount of views because most of them just sit there.
Yeah.
Is the one that I cut out of the Beauty and the Beast one, Gaston and Toxic Masculinity.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's mostly you talking about your theory about why Gaston is the way he is.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it, so I took it out and made that because it made me completely rethink his role in that movie.
Yeah.
And again, after this past year or so, it's something that I think it's important to think about. It's important to
definitely
to think about how masculinity and the idea that as a man you need to be something specific and what that means for you and for society is important. Those are important thoughts to have.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 minutes. You can go look at it. You don't even need to look at it. The video is just a direct to video thing. It's not even.
They're all great, like just little teasers if you need to entice somebody with a little sip of what we do.
Yeah. I also did one that I did mostly because I had listened to the Balto 2 one again just to see why it was so popular, and I can't figure it out. Where I just put together, I think, a few of my own rants about bears. just like the big stuff about how much I hated the bears in these movies, and just played that.
Yeah.
So that's in there.
That was fun.
That's like a minute, so you can go check that out too. We'll try to add more to that because I like finding our gems that we have ended up with out of these conversations. So until next time, I am the ghost of John Smith.
Ooh.
Oh my god! Oh my god! No, it has been years since I sat down and ate a whole cake. But
it's been years since I've sat down and eaten cake.
That's Andy.
I don't like sweets, and a lot of cake has too much sugar in it.
Ugh. I don't like sweets so much either, but I need to step away from your sad, sad life with no cake in it.
It's not sad because there's no cake. It's sad because there is Hot Pockets.